They're in the gate. And they're off. 6 feet is going out to battle for the lead with Midnight Lightning in second. Then in Vronsky style coming through in the white blinkers third. Square Cat racing in between horses fourth. Exceed Speed Limit is next. A gap of 4 back to Chicks Dig It and a distance to slow starting Saul's Call. 6 feet passes the half-mile pole over Midnight Lightning by a length. Within Vronsky style, Square Cat and Exceed Speed Limit fifth, about 4 off the lead. 2 more to Chicks Dig It and still 7 to Saul's Call. Rounding the turn and 6 feet, the one to catch. Maintains the lead of a length and a half. In Vronsky style now makes a nice move in between horses to challenge. On the extreme outside, Chicks Dig It is trying to get involved just behind Exceed Speed Limit. There's an eighth to go in Vronsky style right up to 6 feet. They're nose to nose. Square Cat, Exceed Limit, and Chicks Dig It on the outside. In Vronsky style getting the upper hand late. And it's going to be in Vronsky style to win it by 3/4. 6 feet was second. Exceed Speed Limit third. Photo for fourth between Square Cat and Chicks Dig It. All set. And they're off in the Kona Gold. Brickyard Ride and Positivity vying for the early lead. Brickyard Ride now takes over. Anarchist is coming through along the inside. It's a compact field early on. Armagnac is 1 from the rail. Positivity trumped Extreme outside. Covered by 2 down the back stretch. And Juan Hernandez has Brickyard Ride on the lead, but only by 3/4 of a length as Anarchist is down at the rail in second. Then Positivity. Between rivals, Armagnac splits them, and that leaves Trumped at the back. They have 3/8 of a mile to go. And Brickyard Ride lets it out a notch now. Opens up a 2-length advantage on Anarchist and Armagnac. Then Positivity, 4 off the leader, and Trumped is at the back. Coming to the quarter pole, and it's Brickyard Ride in front. Anarchist takes up the chase. These two dominating. Brickyard Ride at the top of the lane by a length and a half. Anarchist running a big race in second. 4 back to Armagnac in third. Coming to the 16th. Brickyard Ride called on for everything he has, trying to fend off Anarchist. Brickyard Ride keeps going. Anarchist on the outside can't quite get him. Brickyard Ride wins the Kona Gold again. Anarchist was second best. Positivity and Armagnac. The Calbred covers 6.5 furlongs in 1:15.84 seconds. It pays to be Calbred. Up next to 6, started the late pick 5, post time in 22 minutes. Goes in. And they're off. Rakasa broke alertly. Princess Adelaide. Pammy's ready on the outside, has plenty of speed too. They're followed by Kitty Katana, fourth, but just about 2 or 3 lengths off the lead. Unbridled Mary comes through on the inside of One Silk Stocking, and Music Festival is 6 lengths off the pace, which is being set by Princess Adelaide, leading by a head. Rakasa second, 2 clear of Unbridled Mary, a willing third on the inside of Pammy's Ready, who's fourth past the half-mile pole. The lead still belongs to Princess Adelaide in a head-and-head battle with Rakasa. Pammy's Ready racing on the outside of Unbridled Mary. Then Kitty Katana inching up 3 wide in fifth, followed by One Silk Stocking and Music Festival. They have a 1/4 of a mile to go. Princess Adelaide and Rakasa have been together throughout. Kitty Katana finishing well. Unbridled Mary is inside of her. There's an eighth of a mile to go. Rakasa, Princess Adelaide, Unbridled Mary, and Kitty Katana. A four-horse driving finish for the wire. Rakasa just in front. Unbridled Mary and Princess Adelaide. Photo finish. That is so close. Princess Adelaide, a surging Unbridled Mary. Rakasa was in between them. Kitty Katana wasn't far away, and an oncoming one silk stocking put a blanket over him. Princess Adelaide, Pammy's ready on the outside, has plenty of speed too. They're followed by Kitty Katana, fourth, but just about 2 or 3 lengths off the lead. Pammy's ready, who's fourth past the half-mile pole. The lead still belongs to Princess Adelaide. They're in the gate. And they're off. Casillas very fast. Roofer Red Knot coming through along the inside to take command and sprint clear by 3. Sapadilla comes away a joint third, joined and passed now by Gray Magic up on the inside. Then comes Sugar Sugar, Tenacious Lady. The 2 trailers are Balenciaga Betty and Midnight Susie far back early on. Roofer Red Knot flies past the half-mile pole with a 4-length lead. Cassian Sapadilla, second and third, followed at the rail by Gray Magic, and then Tenacious Lady, hard-ridden in between horses with 3 furlongs to go. Balenciaga Betty is 3 wide, about 2 lengths clear of Sugar Sugar, and another 4 to Midnight Susie. They're a quarter of a mile from home. Roofer Red Knot's lead down to 3/4 of a length. Cassia now comes to engage in second, 3 in front of Gray Magic along the inside third. In the center comes Sapadilla, Sugar Sugar trying to rally through traffic. Tenacious Lady coming through smartly at the rail. And here's Tenacious Lady taking the lead with a 16th of a mile to go and pulling away. Tenacious Lady and Jose Valdivia Jr. win easily at a big price. Cassia's second, Sugar Sugar. Midnight Susie came from last to get fourth. And it's a battle for fifth involving Balenciaga Betty and Gray Magic. The place for amazing concerts at their Yamava Theater. Coming soon, Maluma, April 27th. The Doobie Brothers, June. One more. All in. And they're off. Nice beginning for Topolina, who's going out to take the early lead. Cornelia Fort on the far outside matches strides, and Dad's Estrella is in between them, 2 off the pace in third. Avantap is down on the inside forward, 3 lengths off the pace. M is for Magic with the green sleeves is 3 wide, followed by Palio's Princess racing between rivals. Good Buju is down at the rail. Dallas Alice and Real Fire is at the back of a fairly compact group behind Topolina, who leads it by a length and a half. Cornelia Fort second, Avantap at the rail in third, followed by M is for Magic. Dad's Estrella, Good Buju is 4 lengths off the lead. 2 more to Palio's Princess, Real Fire, and Dallas Alice. Approaching the quarter pole, and it's Topolina in charge. Has it by 2 as Avantap angles off the rail to challenge. Cornelia Fort, 3 wide third. Then Good Buju, Real Fire down at the rail. There's an 8th to run, and it's Topolina. Here's Avantap right up alongside. Real Fire is making steady and dangerous headway, and here's Real Fire with a clear shot at Avantap late. Avantap 2 length lead. Here's Real Fire flying on the outside, and it will be Real Fire, the University of Arizona bred, running down Avantap in a thrilling run down the lane. They're in the gate. And they're off. Defunded hopped in the air and is last early. Mr. Impossible is going out for the lead. Midnight Mammoth comes away in second, and Royal Ship a joint third on the outside of Kiss Today Goodbye. Parnelli is in fifth, and Defunded will have to use entirely new tactics as he is at the back of the field as they move into the first turn. And it is Mr. Impossible at the rail, and Midnight Mammoth right up alongside. Royal Ship a length and a half off the pace, while 3 wide third. Kiss Today Goodbye is fourth, about 2.5 lengths off the lead. Then Parnelli and Defunded has 5 lengths to make up. They swing onto the backstretch, and it's Midnight Mammoth leading the way by a half length. Mr. Impossible, Royal Ship kept in the clear, a comfortable third, just a length off the leader. Then comes Kiss Today Goodbye in fourth. Parnelli is fifth, 3.5 off the pace, and 2 more back to Defunded. They have a half mile left to go in the Californian Stakes, and it's Midnight Mammoth, who's been there throughout, getting tested now by Royal Ship, who moves to engage second. Mr. Impossible back to third. Parnelli on the outside of Kiss Today Goodbye. And now Defunded is called on, and there he goes on the far outside. He's caught 4 wide as Defunded rallies all the way up to third. They're coming to the quarter pole. Midnight Mammoth and Royal Ship. Defunded looms up 3 wide. They're at the top of the stretch. Royal Ship puts his head in front. Defunded coming after him, and a very tough Midnight Mammoth running gamely. There's an eighth of a mile to go, and Defunded has now taken the lead and starts to edge away. A giant performance from Defunded, who was beautifully handled by Juan Hernandez. No panic, no problem. Defunded much the best in the Californian. Royal Ship second. Midnight Mammoth in a photo with Kiss Today Goodbye. And they're off. Single track mind rockets out. Here's Acquired Class in the center, showing plenty of early pace, and Adventuresome comes through along the inside, along with Vegas Burner. So it is now Acquired Class just in front, passed by Giovinazzo on the outside. Vegas Burner is 1 from the rail. Neon Lights is racing a joint fourth on the outside of Adventuresome, with Bolt Supremacy outside of those two. Single track mind, who broke well, is now about 6 lengths off the lead. It's a length and a half back to O'Banion, followed by Road of Love, racing 2 clear of Smooth Salute on the outside of the gray Finding Love, and it's a gap of 5 to 50 Cinco, who trails. Around the far turn, it's Acquired Class at the rail and Giovinazzo, those two on even terms coming to the quarter pole. 2.5 more Neon Lights. Vegas Burner is down at the rail. On the outside of them, Bolt Supremacy. Widest of all, here's Single Track Mind starting to kick in with a furlong left to go. Acquired Class digs in with a 2-length lead. Giovinazzo could not match stride second. Then it's Bolt Supremacy and Single Track Mind. It will be Acquired Class. Far too strong, winning easily by 3.5. Giovinazzo was second. Then it was Bolt Supremacy in third. And then it was a battle for fourth between Single Track Mind and Adventuresome as Juan Hernandez closes out the day with a riding triple.
If you're a frequent viewer of this seminar, you know that generally speaking, my guests tend to be older. They tend to be male. They tend to be relatively unattractive, and they tend to be overweight. But let's face it, that's the demographic of horse players, right? But take a look at this Hulk right here. He's not old. He's not unattractive. He's a grumpy occasionally, but that also fits the definition of a horse player. It's my pleasure to welcome into the seminar today, Skip Pearring. Skip, welcome to the seminar.
TQ, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. Now, I've had you on before, so you're accustomed to this nonsense, but we'll shoot the breeze for the first few minutes. Specifically, let's first talk about, I don't think I know, how did you get involved in this game of ours? What was the very first time you came to the racetrack?
You know, my dad brought me when I was a young boy, but really, what really got me hooked was my mom worked here for 30 years. And
what did she do?
She worked in the turf club, the old turf club. And her name was Turf Club Patty. She had a great time. She loved working here. And I got in a motorcycle accident, so I had to have homeschooling. So
how old were you when that happened?
16.
Okay.
My junior year. And after that, after the homeschooling, nobody was home to watch me. So she'd put me in the wheelchair, load me up in the car, and drag.
Santa Anita became your babysitter.
It did. It did. And that's what got me hooked. I loved it. I learned how to read the racing form better than my school books. And I've been hooked ever since.
You were 16. Did you graduate high school since you were spending so much time at Santa Anita?
I did. I don't know how I did, but I did. Barely.
Well, I remember your mom, actually, as a matter of fact. And, of course, those were the golden years, right? There was much more of an on-track presence. Of course, there was no betting by phone or on the computer. And, of course, the place was electric. How do you feel about the racetrack these days? It's changed, right? Obviously, the handle is still there. It's just not on track.
Yeah, you know, I look so forward to the big days, the Santa Anita Derby, the Breeders' Cup, because it just brings back those memories where, you know, the big crowds and the atmosphere and the electricity, you know, at the track. I love those days. I wish we had more of them, but the way things are set up now, you know, those are few and far between. We get them on the big days, but that's about it.
Now, we can see on your Twitter handle that your Twitter handle is Seminar Skip. And, of course, you do a lot of seminars, not just mine, but others as well. One of the things you do almost on a weekly basis with one of our colleagues, Jeff Chapman, is participate in basically an online group chat previewing the next day. Talk to us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, no, those are a lot of fun. I do them with Chappie and Gino, and usually we have another guest, maybe George O or a couple other guys. And we preview Saturday's races on YouTube and on santanita.com. We have a great time doing it.
And generally the evening before.
And the evening before. So we'll be doing one tonight. I think it's 5 or 5:30, previewing Golden Gate races tomorrow. And we have a great time doing it. I do the radio show with Chappie too. We have a great time doing that. We've been doing it for 8 years, called the Morning Line Sports Show.
Now, the Morning Line Sports Show, we can hear locally in Southern California, but a lot of the people viewing are not in Southern California. Is it available on the net?
It is. It's available on the net. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram live, which at TML AM 830. So it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun doing it, and you know, we take it very serious, but we have a good time on the show too.
Well, you shortchanged the radio show, Skip, because you have some really prominent guests. Eddie Olczyk appears quite a bit. When he's not working, of course, he's very busy right now, not only broadcasting for the Seattle Kraken, but also coming down for some Kings games as well. But you also have some other prominent guests that you guys kind of pride yourselves on.
We do. Eddie O, he's our main guy. We love it because I love, obviously, hockey, and I love ponies, and he does too. We've tried to get him on the last 2 weeks, but he's just been too busy. He flies in late tomorrow afternoon, so we won't be able to be on. I was hoping to talk Kentucky Derby and, of course, playoff hockey with him, but we will when things slow down in his schedule. That guy, he's racking up those frequent flyer miles right now. He's all over the place.
Eddie O might not be here, but we can talk about playoff hockey. You are a diehard LA Kings fan. You have seats right along the glass. Not that this is necessarily legal, but I checked online and I saw that tomorrow the LA Kings at home are actually underdogs to the Edmonton Oilers. That's bad news for Kings fans because if they lose tomorrow, that means they're out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. What's your opinion of what they're going to do tomorrow night?
You know, we've had a tough series. We won game 1. We lost game 2. Game 3, we came home, we won. Game 4 was a killer. We were up 3-0.
Emotionally, that was just a nightmare.
Just blew it. You know, they came back 3-3. We got 4-3. They tied it up late and won in overtime. Game 5, I was really nervous about going back to Edmonton. I knew that the boys, as much as you want to get over it and put it in the rearview mirror, that tough was hard to overcome. We've had 3 days off. We play tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and I think we win tomorrow, and anything could happen in Game 7.
Now, you've been up to Edmonton. You've actually seen a Kings game up there, I believe a playoffs game. They're not messing around up there. I mean, what you see on TV probably is amplified by 50 when you're in attendance as a Kings fan.
It's unbelievable. You know, Edmonton, it's not the friendliest place to go. It's not a place.
You're a big guy. They didn't mess with you.
You know, it was funny because Luke Robitaille actually got us tickets, and he said, wear a Kings jersey at your own risk. We've been up there a few times in playoff games, and I'm telling you, they get a little nasty up there. But hopefully we win tomorrow, and maybe there's a chance we go to Game 7. We'll see what happens.
We're never at risk whenever we have Seminar Skip as our seminar guest. We're going to find out who Skip likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramani and get the early changes on today's Friday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast and the turf is firm with the rail on the turf out 20 feet for today's action. Here are the early changes. The first race begins the early pick 5 with no program changes. In the second, no high 5 wagering, number 3, Anybody's Choice, 1 pound over. And scratch number 7, Chrome Dessert. Race 2, take out the 7. In the third race, no changes. There are no changes in the fourth. There's a jackpot in the Rainbow 6, which begins with race 4, $138,000. In the fifth, started the late pick 5, scratch 11 through 14. Overweight, number 7, California Bay, 1 over. Race 6, scratch 3, tap it down, 4, Creature, and the program scratch of number 11. 3, 4, and 11 are out. Number 6, Don't Test Your Luck, carries 2 over. Race 7, number 5, Golden Again, 1 pound over. Eighth race is the start of the Golden Hour pick 4. No changes. And in the ninth, number 1, Mount Zirar, 2 pounds over. 5, Heartbreak Kid, 1 pound over. Scratch number 7, Overrule, and scratch all of the also eligibles, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those are the early changes for today's racing card. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the first is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. Let's go back to the seminar now with Tom Quigley and Seminar Skip.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Skip Pearring. He is a seminar host here at Santa Anita, not only as a guest here on the show today, but also he does a lot of preview shows with Jeff Chapman, who works here at Santa Anita as a Santa Anita VIP host. You can see those generally the day before any big day. And as Skip alluded to in the opening, Golden Gate Fields tomorrow has a monster day with multiple stakes races. A few of Southern California jockeys, including Umberto Rispoli, are up there to ride. Make sure you take a look at Golden Gate's program tomorrow. It's 12 races, as is ours. But first things first, Skip, we got to take a look at today's 9-race card. But before we do, quick question for you. What type of handicapper are you? We see you got your racing form in front of you. Watch a lot of replays. You a speed figure guy. You talk to people in the morning. What do you do?
You know, most of it is replays. A lot of time on the computer, a lot of time watching these replays.
But it's a beautiful thing. We're old enough to remember when it wasn't available on the computer, right? You had to do it via index cards or come early.
Right.
Today, the convenience, you can't beat it.
No, it's unbelievable. I really appreciate what Santa Anita does, and the replays and their video feed is second to none. And then I also go to XBTV and watch the morning workouts if I'm not able to make it out in the morning. So it's a lot of fun, and that's how I do most of my handicapping. I try to do the numbers too, but I'm not the best sheet reader. So if I need the sheet numbers, I'll call a couple buddies of mine and get the numbers that they think are real good, or the horses that are on a good swing. So
You spend a lot of time, Skip, watching replays. What are maybe one or two things that you look for that maybe the general public watching doesn't look for? In other words, there's obvious trouble and then there's subtle trouble. What are some of the things you're looking for when you're watching a replay?
You know, I like to look for jockey intent. Sometimes he doesn't put the horse in the best position, or if they're out wide, like turf trips. If you're out 3-4 wide, that's a terrible trip.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's intentional. It just happens to be where the jockey winds up.
No, exactly. It's just, you know, if they're in a bad post position or whatever, and there's little subtle trouble like that I look for that the general public hopefully won't see, and maybe that price will be a little bit better and we could cash in on those.
And you also, Skip, probably look at the way the jockey is riding the horse. And what I mean by that is the arm movement. There's a lot of things that are happening subtly that are never going to be notated either in the charts or in the trouble line that you can watch just by watching the jockey's arms and hands.
100% TQ. You're absolutely right. You know, you got to watch the jockeys. And sometimes, you know, the trainers, they just want to get it in a race and give it a prep race. And maybe, you know, the percentages aren't real good first time out. They're getting a good race into it. And second time, it'll be ready to go. All those things. And, you know, I really like the gallop outs too. That's really important to me to see how the horse gallops out. And hopefully it does good. And if it is a good gallop out horse, I like that.
Well, let's see if watching the replays is going to pay dividends for us. You did the work. Now let's see if we can benefit from it. We kick things off here in race number 1, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course. The rails today are 20 feet, and this first race begins the 50-cent early pick 5. It's for fillies and mares in for a $32,000 claiming tag. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime. The original morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 6-5 is number 5, Catarini from the Mark Glatt barn. Going, I believe, from a route to a sprint. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to go off memory. Yes, I am correct. Going from a route to a sprint, also undergoing a change as well. Give us your thoughts on race 1, Skip.
You know, I like Gritty Girl coming off the layoff. This horse is training really good. I watched the works on XBTV. It's got speed. There's not a lot of speed in this race. And Jeff Mullins has had a great meet. He started off the Hollywood meet real nice. And him and Hector Berrios, I tell you what, that combination is deadly these days. So I like Gritty Girl with going wire to wire in here. And I love the outside draw in the 7-hole. I think she'll be very tough coming off the break.
Jeff Mullins has 2 in here, Skip, including the rail number 1, Inner Beauty. We haven't seen her since January of 2022. She's taking a drop down in class. Did you watch any of her works in the morning, and did you give her any sort of a look?
You know, I did, and I don't. I don't like the inside draw. I think the outside is quicker than she is, and I just think the 7's going to get a great trip here on the outside. My second pick would be the 2, Dolly May. Vladimir Surin claims this horse off John Sadler. He does very well off the claim, and he does very well with these owners, specifically Pellman and Seymour. For whatever reason, they have a great win percentage. So I think Dolly May will come running maybe to get second.
Juan Hernandez, easily our best turf jockey. That was when there was a lot of competition in the room. Not that it isn't now, but back in the day during the winter meet, we had jockeys like Frankie Dettori and Flavian Pratt certainly banging on Juan Hernandez's heels, trying to become the leading turf jockey. But certainly in turf races, wherever Juan Hernandez lines up is certainly a horse you should take a second look at. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track sprinting 6 furlongs the distance. It's a maiden optional claiming race for fillies and mares. We've got a field of 6 after the scratch of number 7. Number 5, Lulu Drummond from Lulu. Let me start over. Lulu Lemon Drop from the Peter Miller barn is the 5-2 morning line choice. So says our odds maker, morning line odds maker, John White. Has broken from the rail 2 times so far up to this point. Gets a little bit more off the rail. This particular race, Skip, who do you like in race 2 and why?
I'm going to try to beat the favorite here. I'm going to put that horse in second. I'm going to take a shot with the 4 horse, our Kentucky Rose. We got the Kentucky Derby coming up next week. Maybe this is a hunch play. I watched the last replay. It was fractious at the start. It got off slow, and then it never switched leads. I think that race is going to do it a world of good. It came back to work twice. I really like the work on the 19th. They put the blinkers on with Jeff Bond. He wins at 20% when he does that. And Peralta is riding good too. So I'm going to take a shot with our Kentucky Rose, the 4 at 12-1.
Who do you like maybe to compete against our Kentucky Rose to complete the exacta, Skip?
I'm going to take the 5 horse, Lulu Lemon Drop. Like you said, the horse gets off the rail finally. Peter Miller trains it. This horse could come running. It showed speed first time out. Second time, it was a step slow and came running. It closed a little ground. The dirt is a question mark for this filly. So I'm going to take a shot with the 4 on top. Maybe the 5 come running and get second.
Big price for Seminar Skip in race number 2. Number 4, our Kentucky Rose, putting the blinkers on. 12-1 for the Jeff Bondi barn, who was victorious in a race last week. Race number 3, we're traveling 1 mile on the turf course, $40,000 claimers, a field of 6. The Dropper, who won at this level last time a few races back. Number 1, Mecklenburg, owned by Little Red Feather, trained by Jeff Mullins, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 3, Skip.
You know, Mecklenburg's coming out of the sprint race down the hill. I think there's other speed to go with them. I think Rip City could go, and maybe Neptune Storm with Ricardo Ramirez coming in from Los Al. He's a speed rider. I'm going to take a shot with the 2, Hudson Ridge, Bob Baffert's horse. This horse has some back class. It raced in the Del Mar Derby, Twilight Derby, Hollywood Derby. I like the way that this horse is training specifically. I didn't like the ride he got last time. They put J.J. Hernandez, who you just were talking about. I think if they grab hold of this horse is going to have a big shot. It's 5-2, but I love the way this horse is training in the morning.
Is there enough speed to set up the leg click for Hudson Ridge in this race?
I believe so. The 1's obviously going to go from the rail. I think with Maldonado, the 5 could put pressure on it, if not go with it. And I think Neptune Stone also will put pressure. My second horse is going to be the 3. This horse is owned by Slam Dunk Racing and Netwick. I think this horse will come running. This horse is bred for longer, but I think this horse maybe can come pick up the pieces and get second.
Hudson Ridge and Rizika in race number 3, so says our seminar guest, Seminar Skip. Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, the jackpot single ticket carryover, now up to $138,000. That amount plus whatever is wagered today will be yours if you're the only winning ticket. Believe it or not, I do think there's a chance that there could be an only winning ticket today. We'll find out come about 5 o'clock Pacific time. But first things first, race 4 is 6.5 furlongs in the main track, $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Number 6, Son of a Finch, is the 2-1 morning line favorite, shipping in from Golden Gate. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Skip, a question for you. How do you handle the inevitable ups and downs of winning and losing?
There's more losing than winning. And
that's what makes winning so sweet.
You're right. But you always remember those losses, the bad rides, the lose it by a nose, the disqualification, whatever it is. Those never leave your mind.
How do you turn the page, though? I mean, emotionally, physically, it might happen in the middle of the day, and you still like horses later on in the day.
I'm not the best at it, TQ. Then I start chasing after a bad beat. The best thing to do is just take a deep breath and maybe take a race or 2 off and just try to settle down and go back at it. But I'm not the best. You might want to ask somebody else that.
And you play the horses day and night. You've been seen multiple times in the dungeon, whacking away at harness or Los Alamitos. You're a glutton for punishment.
I am, TQ. For 54 years, I love the punishment for some reason. One of these days I will learn. I've actually been better. I haven't been playing at night. I usually just play on the weekend.
You're playing on TVG at night. You just might not be in the dungeon, but you're still playing.
No, I've been really good.
Yeah, okay.
You would be proud of me.
You don't have any friends watching. You don't need to confess. This isn't church. All right, race number 4. Who you like in the race and why?
Okay, race number 4. There looks like there's a lot of speed. Divine Rascal, the 1, got claimed by George Parabon. That horse is definitely going to go from the rail. I think the 5's going to go, came off the layoff for Gary Studi. This horse showed some speed. I'm going to take a shot with the 2, Big Splash. This horse drops down in class. It raced for 16, 2 back. It was on the rail. It came running late. Going 6.5, I think this horse will do just fine. I think this horse could come and maybe get him at the wire. Milton Pineda, he's been doing unbelievable at Los Alamitos, like you say. Not that I've been betting, but I've been watching.
You've been paying attention.
So I think with the speed in the lineup, I think the 2, Big Splash at going 6.5 could come and get him at the wire.
You make a very good point, Skip, that I want to visit just for a brief second, and that is, in the past, we used to almost automatically discount Los Alamitos based runners coming over here to San Anita in the afternoon, but that's no longer the case. There are a number of sharp trainers who have been shipping in here and win, including Milton Pineda, who you mentioned. You can no longer just draw a line through those horses automatically.
Absolutely not. They're coming in and they're winning. I noticed they were winning at Del Mar. They were winning it here. Do not discount those horses. Those trainers do a very good job. And, usually you get a little bit of a price on those ones too. So pay attention to those, definitely.
Race number 5 has a full field of 10. That's because we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. It's for Calbred, maiden special weight. It also begins the 50-cent late pick 5 sequence. Scratch the also eligibles. 11 through 14 will not compete. Morning line favorite number 4, Grand Tiger from the Brian Coroner Barn. First time starter, but there's been a lot of buzz about this son of Smiling Tiger. What have you seen in the workouts that you've watched courtesy of xbtv.com?
Grand Tiger's been working nice. I put good works. I like the horse, but I'm not going to pick it on top. I like the outside horse.
You're going for another son of Smiling Tiger.
I sure am. And I love the breeding on this horse. The dam has produced 4 winners, and all 4 have won, including 2 turf winners. Jeff Mullins trains this horse. Hector Barrios, that deadly combo, is riding it. And this horse has been working very good in the morning, sneaky good. Breaks a little bad, shows some speed. They really haven't let this horse run in the morning from what I've seen. I think California Tiger's got a big shot in the 5th race.
I'm always going to ask you about the second Jeff Mullins runner, just like I did in race number 1. Here in race number 5, it's number 7, California Bay. This is a half to the very talented Warden Jerry, who's banked almost $500,000 in his career. Have you seen any workouts for this 10-to-1 shot in the morning for California Bay?
I have. It's been working with California Tiger. California Tiger's been out working it. I think California Bay is bred more for the 2-turn distance. So this might, be a good race, setting it up for the next one. And that horse is bred very good too. The dam produced 8 winners from 10 foils.
And we know you like
California.
I know what you meant. California. I'm used to listening to you at the end of the night down in the dungeon. Number 10, California Tigers, your top selection in race 5. Who do you like maybe to complete the exacta?
The horse that you mentioned first. I'm going to go with the Smiling Tiger exacta, Grand Tiger. Brian Cornier trains this horse. It's been working very good in the morning, and that'll be the exacta play.
10-4 in race number 5. Let's turn the page. Take a look at race number 6. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're going 1 mile on the main track. Maiden claimers, $20,000 is the claiming tag. 3 scratches. Scratch the 3 and 4. Also, we've got the program scratch of 11. If you're a Lakers fan, the hunch play of the day is number 5, LeBron James, but the morning line favorite is number 6. Don't Test Your Luck from the Doug O'Neill Barn. 3-1 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 6, Skip.
I'm going to go with the 6 in race 6. Don't Test Your Luck. This horse ran really good last time. It got beat by a horse of Leonard Powell's that was dropping down. But this horse ran really good, and I love the way that it galloped out. It never stopped trying at the end and actually galloped out back in front. I think the drop in class is what this horse needed, and I think Don't Test Your Luck should be very tough today.
You also like number 1, Nickel 9. First off, the claim for trainer Jonathan Wong. 0 for 15 lifetime with 10 seconds or thirds, but only 1 try on a main track, a dirt main track, I should say. What'd you like about Nickel 9?
I didn't like it to win because when I see 0 for 15, I will never bet those horses. Those horses are almost like pack animals. It runs second and third. It wants to run with other horses. Those horses aren't for me, but it's got 7 seconds. So let's make it 8 today and do a 6-1 exacta.
If you have the racing form in front of you, you can see Nickel 9's only a time on the dirt main track. That was back at Pleasanton on June 24th, 2022. Went off as the 4-5 favorite. Finished a good second, well clear a third. I have a feeling that's why Jonathan Wong claimed Nickel 9 to get it back on the main track. We'll see if that change in surface might do the trick. Race number 7 is for Calbred Fillies and Mares, going 1 mile on the turf course. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Non-winners of 1 other than. We've got a field of 8. The morning line favorite is number 3, Eleuthera from the Ben Cecil Barn. Had a trouble trip last time out. Was that trip enough maybe to have you pick her on top today?
No, that's not. And here I just said 1 for 18 or horses or whatever. I usually don't bet, but I really like the 2, Sunshine Babe. This was a great replay. Frank Miramotti said it when he called the race. She raced against the boys that day. DeSormo rode her, and I tell you what, now she goes back against the girls. She stumbled at the start. She had traffic on the turn and through the stretch. She galloped out nice. I think Sunshine Babe will win today's 7th race. It's hard for me to pick horses that are 1 for 18, but I just think DeSormo on this mare, I think they'll get the job done today. She came back to work well.
I saw that replay earlier this morning, Skip, and I completely agree with you. Those of you watching have plenty of time to pull up the replay we're talking about back on April 7th, but you're absolutely right. Frank Miramonte does an amazing job. Not only did he mention it as she entered the backside about the trouble she had at the start, but even coming down the lane, he talked about how she had a better than look trip. For him to think about those type of things when he's calling a field of 10 absolutely blows my mind away. You heard it, you saw it. And it's one of the reasons why we're so lucky and fortunate to have him as our track announcer.
Absolutely. He does such a great job. He's one of the best in the business, if not the best. And you're right. I mean, trying to call all these horses by their name and their correct name, and he's noticing this horse had trouble. He does a great job.
The trouble is significant, so I would encourage you to pull up that replay for number 2, Sunshine Babe. I think I know who you like to complete the exacta, Skip, in race 7, but who is it?
I'm going to take a shot with the George Papadromo horse, the 7. This horse is going to go to the front with Maldonado on, I believe, and it's been training very well. And, it's had some really good races. It ran second, then it came and broke its maiden at 1 1/8 by 4 lengths. Then it got beat a half length. Then it got beat by Teddy's Barrino, who's very, very nice. This horse, I think, is going to show speed today and take him as far as she can. And I think, the 2, Sunshine Babe, DeSormo is going to come and get her at the wire.
Number 7, Ghostum, would be the second replay I would encourage you players to pull up and take a look at her last race as well back on April 1st. There's a couple things to notice. First of all, she ran against Open Company. This race in race number 7 today is restricted to Calbreds. Also, as you heard Skip say, she likes the front. She kind of got tangled up at the start. You can see the trip notes say in the racing form, trouble trip. It was way more than that. Not only did she have trouble at the start, she also had trouble coming down the lane as well. And Skip mentioned gallop outs. Ghostum basically was even with the winner of the race going into the clubhouse turn. 2 really valuable replays for you to watch. Number 2, Sunshine Babe, and number 7, Ghostum, who are Skip's top 2 selections in race number 7. Race number 8 is for fillies and mares. It also begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. It always pays well because of the higher minimum, the lower takeout. This is just a straight allowance race for fillies and mares, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. We've got a field of 6, 2 of them inside and outside, trained by Bob Baffert, including number 1, Ida, who competes against Older for the first time in her career. She's 8-5 on the Maury line, but she's got to beat the filly you just mentioned, or the mare, I should say, Teddy's Barrino, who's a very talented Calbred. Seems like she always fires her best shot on Lasix, which is what she's using today. Talk to us about race 8, Skip.
Yeah, I like Teddy's Barrino a lot. The workout pattern's a little spotty. She works March 9th, then she's got a little break till the 25th, and then from the 25th till the 16th. But Mark Glatt's having a great meet. He does a great job. Mike Smith's on this horse. This horse wants to beat you. It's raced 10 times and had 6 wins. 2 of its losses were on the grass. So this horse loves the main track. It loves to beat you. And boy, she's a pretty thing. She's a gray filly or a gray mare, and she's got that big white face. So I think breaking from the outside from the 4, I think she's going to win today's 8th race. Ida would be my second choice. This horse is facing Older, like you said, for the first time Lasix. And this horse is training good in the morning. I got class, won the grade 1 Starlet. The San Isabel won grade 3. So this horse, I think, is going to go to the front. But I think Teddy's Barrino is going to run her down at the wire.
Teddy's Barrino last time might actually beat another Bob Baffert filly by the name of Adair Maynor. Adair Maynor runs in a feature race tomorrow here at the Great Race Place. So if Teddy's Barrino wins, certainly you have to upgrade the chances of Adair Maynor tomorrow. Race number 9 closes out a very good card, and it also begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double, linking our last race with the last race at Golden Gate. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs again on the flat turf course. Maiden Claimers in for a $50,000 tag. Number of scratches here. Scratch all the also eligibles. 11 through 14 will not compete. Also number 7, Overrule, has also been declared out of the race. Also take note, there's 2 first-time geldings. Number 3, Battle Call, and number 8, Charlie's Ghost, are both first-time geldings. The lukewarm morning line favorite is number 2, Warrior Road, at 7-2 on the morning line. Also take note of the jockey on number 10, Snap Daddy. Antonio Frizu, I believe is how it's pronounced. You might not recognize the name, but he's a very talented jockey from Italy who is going to be riding here extensively in Southern California, including multiple mounts both tomorrow and Sunday. Certainly a new name you have to pay attention to in the Jocks Colony. Having spit all that out, I need you to spit out a winner here.
Well, hopefully I can. I like number 5, Heartbreak Kid. This horse drops in class, and its 2 best races of his career. We're back September 11th and October 7th, both on the grass, both going long. One was at Del Mar, one was at Santa Anita. It gets first-time Lasix. It comes out of a key race last time. Obviously, something went amiss. It got beat 13.5 lengths, but I like the way that this horse is training. It's been at San Luis Rey Down, but it came in on April 23rd, and it worked the third out of 25 best works. I think Heartbreak Kid has a big shot in race 9 at Santa Anita.
And you give it a little love to number 6, Battle Call, who's one of the first-time geldings coming off a long layoff. Hasn't been seen in the afternoon since April of 2022. What'd you like about Battle Call?
I think Battle Call will be a nice claim. John Sadler claimed it. First-time gelding. It had trouble last time on a sloppy track back last year, almost a year ago. Training good in the morning. Emmy Nellywood gets aboard. This horse should like the grass, so I think the 2's got a big shot to come second. But my top play is Heartbreak Kid, and hopefully my heart's not breaking.
Hopefully our heart's not broken if we tag along as well. But 6-1 on the morning line is certainly a very playable price. You also mentioned number 6, Battle Call. Again, Emily Ellingwood and John Sadler, when they team up, they've done so 14 times over the last couple of years. They've hit the winner's circle at a 43% win clip. All right, you mentioned the Kentucky Derby at the start of the seminar, Skip. I don't know if you've done the work, but the Kentucky Derby is only 8 days away. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least press you a little bit and find out maybe who you like in the Kentucky Derby, if you've done the work.
I've done a little bit of work, and the horse that I'm kind of on right now, but I want to see their final works over the track. But right now I'm on Tappet Trice, Todd Pletcher's 3-year-old colt out of Tappet. This horse looks really impressive. You know, it's undefeated this year, and the last race was really, really impressive to me, the Bluegrass Stakes. The Tampa Bay Derby, I believe it was when he won. It wasn't real impressive. I was really skeptical, but the way that he won the Bluegrass, I think he's got a big shot in the Derby. That horse can run forever. A big gray horse by Tappet, and looks like he'll be tough.
You ever been to the Kentucky Derby?
I never have. It's on the bucket list.
Come on now.
I always told
now that you're not playing Los Al, you got plenty of money to save.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I always told a buddy of mine that trains horses, I said, if you get a Derby runner, I says, I'm going with you. So I'm going to keep it to that. Hopefully he'll get a Derby runner soon and we can make it out there.
Hopefully we gave you 9 winners today, 1 a week from Saturday. And of course, go Kings go tomorrow night, Skip.
Go Kings go. Big game. I think they're going to get it done. That's my play for tomorrow. And hopefully I won't be disappointed.
Thanks to all of you for watching. You're never disappointed whenever you listen to Seminar Skip. Make sure you tune in later today on Sandy's Facebook or YouTube page. He'll be previewing all the great stakes action up north at our sister track, Golden Gate Fields, which takes place tomorrow afternoon. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us with any late program changes. Have fun, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.